Hello, 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 and happy December and happy holidays to everyone. My name is Anna Cook, and I am part of the Lit Gals. I usually don't introduce, do I? But today we are starting something new, and that is live stream on Instagram. So Marty is very busily making sure that everything is working. So I'm going to go ahead and start off today. Once again, my name is Anna Cook. I am a literacy specialist for schools and districts all over Indiana and elsewhere. So we're just so happy to have you guys here today. Marty, are you good?
I think so. I'm not 1,000% sure.
We'll find out.
I know. I think maybe. So if you're watching us on Instagram, please leave a comment on the Keep Indiana Learning page. I would just love to know that I clicked all the buttons in the right order. I clicked a lot of buttons, Anna, while you were talking.
So it's all good.
All right. Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Martie Hoofer, the digital content manager for Keep Indiana Learning. And I love this half hour of every month where we get to talk about books. Reading is one of my passions, and I just love getting to share excitement about a lot of different text here on all the social media platforms now.
We are covering them all, Marty, thanks to you and Keep Indiana Learning.
Yes.
So thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome. So Anna, what do you want to talk about this month?
Well, really, you were the one that started this. And when you said summer reads, I thought, oh my gosh, she's crazy. What about summer reads? And then we talked about it a little bit, and I thought, you know what, this is a perfect topic. Summer reads, and we're talking about it in December of all time. But if you look outside, it's lovely.
It is.
And the sun is shining.
I am wearing my snowman reading shirt, though.
Well, and I've got, you can't really tell, but I have snowflakes.
Hey, well, there we go. But it's okay to talk about summer when it's not summer.
That's right. That's right. It's okay. It's okay. And so I started to think about summer reads, and selfishly, I thought about my own, and I'll talk about those later. But I started thinking about the middle school and high school, and those teachers really start working on some very, very heavy content, some books, novels that are quite large and in-depth and complicated. And I started thinking about our students. Yeah. And, they are struggling. They are struggling, and in so many different ways. And so I started thinking about all of those very large and heavy books, and what could be done in the summer to get them prepared to read those novels, etc., in the fall and the winter. And I automatically thought about graphic novels. And Marty, you had said this, and I thought that this is an excellent word. What I want to propose is that we do some scaffolding, okay? So we do some scaffolding in the summer to get our students prepared for those heavy reads. You are so right. We do this all the time in elementary school.
Right.
So why do we not do it in the middle and the high school? Because quite frankly, those are the kids that are struggling the most.
And they're struggling a lot, and we're throwing really hard text at them. You think about that AP reading list. We're throwing really hard text at them, often telling them to do them by themselves. And that flies in the face of good practice that we do everywhere else. So why are we doing it? So Anna, I'm excited about the examples you have, because they're fantastic examples that there's no reason we're not scaffolding for our older readers.
Right. And so when I started to get all of my materials together and everything, I thought about our October lit gals and books with pretty covers, right?
Oh, yes.
And, both of us confessed, those of us that are a little bit higher than the ones that are a little new. And I said the book cover makes a difference. And the book cover could make or break in our middle school and high school as well. So I want to give you an example of this. So this is just the typical cover of Hamlet, right?
Yeah.
Typical cover, doesn't really do too much for me.
Nope.
I'm sure it doesn't do too much for a middle school or high school student as well, right?
Right.
There is another one that is a little bit more modern, if you will, okay? Yeah. But still, I see Shakespeare and I get nervous.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit better than this one, but just by a little, right?
Yeah.
If we would scaffold with a graphic novel, look at this. It's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
A no-brainer. Now, it's not going to have every single word verbatim, right? But this right here, done in the summer, could get at least the kids prepared for that baseline information. This is what I need to know about this. So it's not so scary when I'm given this.
Because that is scary. I think to my undergrad work, and I clearly remember the Shakespeare class I took, and I was so intimidated from word go because just buying the books, I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? Because they're intimidating. And so we're doing that to high schoolers when we don't have to.
No. And it's so easy for the teachers just to, email or send out, some sort of a notice saying here and here's where you can find those graphic novels.
Yes.
Right?
And kids are automatically drawn in. Who wouldn't then be excited to go to a class where my summer reading list are graphic novels? Oh my word. Now I'm excited. They don't even have to know that blue copy of Hamlet's coming. They don't have to know that. No. But you've got them excited, which is a fantastic hook to then run. And let's be honest, then you could do some critical thinking things with compare and contrast the two. And it opens a door that would otherwise, I don't even know kids would know. Too many kids wouldn't even consider approaching the door.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. And let's face it, when we read Hamlet, in the fall or the winter, we spend a good 6 weeks on this. So just think about their grades for 6 solid weeks if they don't have any type of a baseline to work from, right?
That's a fantastic point.
I shudder.
Yeah.
I shudder.
Yeah.
And the graphic novels, like we have said before, you can get them in the library. I was stunned. The library has an entire section of graphic novels. Yeah. I was very impressed also by Amazon. I was so impressed by their selection. Unreal. Yeah. And then, of course, we've got thrift books and we've got all sorts of other avenues.
Honestly, though, for graphic novels, I highly encourage folks to use the library because they are expensive because of the ink and the paper that you have to put all that color on. They are expensive text and there's no way around it.
Yeah.
So the library is definitely your friend, or a used bookstore when it comes to graphic novels.
Absolutely. Another one that I had picked up, and I know it's in a movie and, of course on stage, but Les Miserables.
I've never seen this book in the flesh. Holy Gal.
Mm-hmm. I don't think too many high schoolers would even, yeah.
No.
They just won't. They
No.
just won't. However, in the graphic novel,
Oh.
right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love it too. I love it too. So, teachers, please, please, please consider these graphic novels. I think that you would be setting yourself up for success
Yes.
if you introduce it the graphic novel way, and then later on during the winter and fall time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the kids would be able to tackle it a lot better. A lot better.
I think so too, because then by the time they get to the traditional text, they've got their brains wrapped around the story already. Now I can dive into the language and the symbolism and all those deeper, richer things that we don't want them to lose. But if they're trying to keep track of what's Hamlet doing today, I can't get into the richness of Shakespeare and his beautiful writing if I'm trying to figure out who Hamlet's talking to.
Right. It absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah. So teachers, let's please consider this, okay? And that might be another reason that we're talking about this in December, because let's face it, we need time to prepare.
Yeah.
And spring and summer are just around the corner now, aren't they?
Yes. So, I thought it was funny that we were talking about it's not summer, but we're talking about summer books today. A motorcycle just rode by.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, well, he thinks it's summer. So anyway, so Anna, what do you have for summer reads for us?
Well, okay. You know me. I can't stop talking about this book. It was so good. And I even asked a very dear friend of mine who was an avid reader, and I said, what was your favorite summer read this year? And she said, oh, hands down, The Perfect Couple.
Oh.
It was so good. It was a murder mystery. Oh. It was fabulous.
Okay.
Once again, set in New England. Okay. And Elin Hilderbrand, she just does a fabulous job in this book. So fabulous with this story that they have made it into a movie. I do believe Netflix. Nicole Kidman is going to be the main character. It will be coming out in spring or summer of next year. But this, and they've already done all of the, the taping and everything. So just working on final wrap. But this was a fabulous book. So come to find out, she has written numerous summer books, and another one that is just a very big one was Summer of '69. And once again, set on the East Coast near Cape Cod, Nantucket. And this one came as a close second, but this one definitely was my first.
Okay.
So then I started really, and Marty, you do this all the time so beautifully. If you like an author, you really find out what else they've written and what's going to come out next, etc. Well, come to find out, she has a winter series, like Winter in New England. Won't that be fun? And so I am starting to read her winter series. There's 4 of them. And so I'm starting that, this winter, hopefully, if a snowflake can come down. That would be fun.
Yeah. So, Anna, I love that.
But this is going to be huge. And I know, I was able to get this on Libby immediately. I know that when that movie comes out, you won't be able to borrow a book.
No
way.
So if you think you want to read it, read it now while there's no
Yes.
hold list at the library.
Oh,
And
yes.
yes, just go get it.
Yeah. So really, that's all that I've got to offer today, Martie.
Well, okay. So thinking about summer reads, when I hear the phrase summer reads, I think about books that are a little bit lighter. They're not heavy and they're not hard, and they're fun. And I think your examples actually fit exactly what I was thinking. I don't know that mine are set in the summer, the books I'm going to talk about, but they fall in that they're a little bit lighter. And actually the first one is a great tie to something we just talked about a few moments ago. It's a graphic novel called Dragon Hoops. And this is written, we've talked about him before, Luen Yang. He wrote Boxers and Saints, and he's got another graphic novel that I can't think of off the top of my head. But this book is so cool. It's nonfiction and follows the basketball team. Nonfiction, which is cool. But Anna, I love this book, but there is one reason why this book is number one in my heart, because of the way it feels. Even through the library, plastic cover thingy, you can feel the bumps like it's a basketball.
No way.
And so I feel bumpies right here like a basketball, and then I get to right here and it's smooth like the line on a basketball.
Oh my gosh.
That
is so cool.
It's the coolest book. I have no idea what this would cost to buy. I have only read library copies. It's fantastic though. So a great, super fun summer read. It's basketball season right now. It's not even basketball season in the summer. So it's a great read. So I thought of this one because it's just fun. So grade level, I would say middle school and up. High schoolers would love it. I loved it. This one, Your Heart, My Sky, is written by Margarita Engle, and you can tell it's a romance.
Okay.
It's a novel in verse.
Oh, wow.
So
I love that.
Fast. And it is a very sweet romance story. I'm not going to deny that part of the story. I mean, that's the title, Your Heart, My Sky. But what I loved about this book is how much I learned. I was not prepared to learn about modern history while I read this book. This book is set in the 90s. And if you remember, the news in the 90s was filled with stories of people fleeing from Cuba, trying to get to Miami.
Oh, yes.
In any way possible, trying to float those 90 miles. Well, that's the driver of this story. It's set in Cuba. So what was it like to be in Cuba in the early 90s?
Wow.
It's a phenomenal story. You would tear through this. I mean, it's only 200 pages, and again, novel and verse. You're going to tear through this in a day, but it's beautiful.
It sounds beautiful. It sounds beautiful. Now, Martie, can you bring that back up for just a minute? What age? What grade?
I would think 8th grade and up.
Okay.
You're okay. 8th grade and up. I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. Good. Okay, just wondering.
And then an adult story. Okay, so Anna, you were saying, Martie, how when you find an author you like, you just really dig in. Allie Carter is my author of late that I just dug into. This is her first adult fiction book. She wrote The Gallagher Girls and The Heist Society. She's done a ton of writing for YA. Strong female protagonist. Her YA books are fantastic. Then there's this one, and it's The Blonde Identity. It's a mystery set in Paris. What I will tell you is, let me just read to you the beginning of the jacket. In the middle of the night, in the middle of Paris, a woman just woke up with no memory. She only knows 3 things for sure. She has a splitting headache. The hottest guy she has probably ever seen is standing over her, telling her to run. And people are trying to kill her.
Ooh.
And the book takes off from there. It moves at a breakneck pace.
Whoa.
And it's so, I'm not a mystery reader, but this is a little bit mystery, a little bit action, a little bit rom-com.
Yeah.
It's just a whole lot of fun stuff rolled together.
Oh my gosh.
And I can't say enough good things about it.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so did she write anything after that one?
Not yet. This just came out this August. Yeah.
Wow.
So I saw her speak, I don't know, late October, probably at a local library. And she's from out west, but she was doing a book tour. And she said she's working on something else, but can't tell us what.
Yeah.
She hinted that it would be adult, though, but that's the extent of it. So there's probably more coming. But even her YA stuff, that's how she hooked me, was her YA stuff. But this is fantastic.
That sounds good. Yes, very good.
It's
very
good.
good.
Yeah. So Anna, it is the time of year where we get the best of list. And I just saw, speaking of the library, Marion County Library released one today. So what are your thoughts on these year-end best of list?
Well, it's so funny that you should ask me, because I saw the New York Times one. And I am going over it and over it and over. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know any of these titles. I was stunned. So it got me thinking that I really, I like those end of the year, best of the best books, etc., because it really does help me then, or guides me for next year's.
It helps you read a little broader. So I haven't seen the New York Times list. I'll have to look it up later.
Because I didn't know any of those titles, and the authors and everything. I thought, what? And at first I even thought, what is this? Because usually between you and me, we've heard, but for me, I thought, what? Ooh. So I'm definitely, over the winter break that we've got coming up soon, I'm going to sit down and look at that list again and try to figure out what I want to do for next year.
Okay, I love it. We have homework, and I'm going to do the same, because I have not seen that list. So I will go check out that list. I always, on my Instagram account, for my books that I read, I always pick my top 9 favorite. And it's one of my favorite things to do in that week between Christmas and New Year's, is look back through all my books I read and what are my top 9. And I only do 9 because that's what fits in a nice square on Instagram. So
you're so technical, Martie.
I'm just keeping it real here. I pick 9 because that's what fits on Instagram well.
I love it. But Martie, may I also, I want you to toot your horn. I do. How many books did you read this year?
So this is what I'm reading right now. We'll go a little out of order. I'm on a middle grade kick, and I'm reading Lotus Bloom and the Afro Revolution. And Lotus is a super cool character. I'm loving her. She's a 7th grader. The last book I just finished, I was reading about an 8th grader, but now I got a little 7th grader, and I love her. I think this will be book 54 for the year.
54 books.
Yeah. And
people. 54 books. I mean, this gal you are something else. So 9. Mm-hmm. So are you going to give us the 9 then on an Instagram in January, or what are you going to? I want to look forward to it.
Yeah. I'll post it on my Instagram account, which is connect_Hoofer. And I'll post it there probably December 31st, January 1st. Depends on when I get it done. But yeah, so, and I can share them here next month. But speaking of next month, the Indiana State Literacy Association is joining us next month. So we're going to have some special guests, which is super exciting. Yeah.
I love them. Every single one of them are just so special, and talk about knowledgeable. Wow.
Oh my gosh. They blow my 54 books out of the water. These are people I mean, it is amazing the number of books they read on these committees to make the awards. And it's amazing.
There's something else. So major coup on our part on getting some of them, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm excited. So Anna, what are you reading or listening to wrap up the year?
Well, I'm starting my winter series, my Elin Hilderbrand series.
Yay!
Yes. And then I also started a book by Lawrence Freeman, and I do want to talk about that in January. It's called Good Work.
Oh.
And he is a monk in France. And he talks about, the work that you do. It needs to be good work, and it needs to be good work not only for yourself, but of course for others, for them to grow and prosper, as well as for you.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading that too.
Love it.
Yeah. What are you reading? Well, you've got your 7th grade.
I got my little Lotus Bloom.
Good.
I don't know what I'm going to read after this. I'm just started it. I'm, on like chapter 4. So I don't know where I'll go next, but I'm going to hang out with Lotus for, the next 3 or 4 days at least.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Well,
and hopefully you'll do some resting. I hope.
Oh yeah.
Please.
Oh yeah. No worries about that. Reading is resting for me.
Well, that is true. All
right. Well, Anna, this brings the first half of our season to a close.
Yes. I just can't believe. We've also got a new.
Yes. Yep. There will be a 3rd Lit Gal beginning in January. We are excited to have Morgan Mason joining us. She is a Keep Indiana Learning professional learning specialist, and she focuses a lot on those very early readers, those birth to age, like 2nd grade, super early readers. So I'm excited for the perspective she'll bring to our show.
I am too.
So thank you so much, Anna. Thank you, followers, for giving us a few minutes of your time each month. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And Garrison Keillor, we're always going to end with what he used to say on his own radio show, and that is, Marty, be well,
do good work,
and keep in touch.
Have a great Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.